Don't know that we've really worked this much in the rain before.
We did really kind of put this off to the last minute, didn't we?
Yeah, we were gonna do it last night, but it started raining then too.
We've really been wanting to put some seed on our front yard. We found out this tropical storm's coming through. I don't even remember his name.
Gordon, I think.
Okay. It's going to be raining all weekend, and then the weather's going to be really cool. It's perfect time to get some seed in the ground. So, hey, did you see this new thing, Christy?
Yeah! I think we're going to call it Vinny.
The folks at Ventrac have allowed us to use Vinny here for a year or so. And this is a little different one than what we're going to have in the long term. This is just in the short term here. It's got the boom mower capability on it. The next video, you're going to see the boom mower work.
It's pretty awesome.
It works great. Reaches right out. We go to Joe's house and mow his ditch. If you remember any of the work we've done on his ditch previously, boom mower is a perfect fit. Stay tuned for that. It's coming up in our very next video. This is the Kawasaki version of the Ventrac, the 4500P. Okay, it's I think a 31 horsepower gasoline engine. This one's equipped with all the front hydraulics, everything necessary for that boom mower, but it also works with all the other attachments. This is the Aeravator with the built-in seeder. So we're doing both. We're running this Aeravator today, and we're running this seeder. One thing I immediately like about the seeder,
It's got a lid.
it's got a lid, so we can actually do this in the rain today.
Yep.
You know, I don't know if the manufacturer would think that running this Aeravator in the rain is a very good idea, but one thing I'm seeing is that in the regular grass areas where there's good sod, it seems to work fine, and in the areas where it's bare, it actually stirs up a little bit more dirt.
Oh.
So I actually think it's going to be really good.
Yeah.
Now it's raining right now, just a slow drizzle, but it hasn't rained very much.
No.
Okay, it rained maybe 1/10 of an inch yesterday, and we haven't got yet 1/10 of an inch this morning, probably just a few hundred.
Right now we're going to check the level of the seed. He filled it up.
No, I didn't fill it up, but I
Okay.
put a good bit in it. We just kind of wanted to see how far this was going to go and whether we were at the right rate. I'm not really too particular at this stage. It's our own yard, and if we get a little too much on, that doesn't bother me. I'll put some more in and go.
So we got the idea of this seed from a neighbor whose lawn looks terrific all year long. So
Terrific. I think I'm going to lower this rate a little bit. This wheel here spins to lower the rate or raise the rate, and I had it at about the number 40.
why are you lowering the rate?
Well, I thought we'd used a lot of seed, no more than we tried to seed there. Okay, I'll get out there and get going. We're making a mess on our driveway right now, but I'm pretty sure that big rain coming through is going to wash it all off. So
You'll be able to see it raining here in the video, but I just wanted to let you know that it wasn't raining very hard. Neither Tim or I got soaked. It really didn't even wet our t-shirts, so it wasn't raining very much.
When those vibrating teeth hit the sidewalk, it was sort of like a jackhammer. So it didn't take long to learn not to do that.
it's not going in very deep because I got that roller all balled up with mud. The only thing we can do is raise it way up. I think the teeth will clean it off at some level, but not down at the original. It's definitely going in deeper at this point. Adjusting that roller was a positive move, I believe. The only thing will be if it continues to ball up and gets thicker and thicker. I think those aerator folks or whatever will keep it from doing that.
I like the fact that this Aeravator doesn't pull out the cores like a normal aerator does. I don't like the look of all those little cores laying on top of the ground after they come through and aerate. Okay, I can see the seed dropping out. That all looks good. We've just got some areas in our yard that just basically died. We oversprayed with crabgrass killer and then didn't get a very good stand of the bluegrass that we planted.
There's a clutch mechanism here in the left end of the seeder. When that roller's on the ground and has weight on it, the tines vibrate. When it's raised up, the tines stop. This is a very nice feature to be able to control those tines. You'll be able to see that action here in several places in the video.
I can see some grass seed on the top of the ground, which is good. And you can barely see the holes that it left behind. That's really nice.
Are you seeing much seed come out?
I think so, and then I'm seeing some seed on the top of the ground. I was just talking about that.
Okay.
But not much.
No, I'm wondering if we're not getting much seed here. We should be getting more seed out than that, I think.
Yeah.
I know it looks kind of messy, but I actually kind of like what it's doing because in the areas that have stronger sod, it's not really tearing that up much. In the areas that don't have sod, it is tearing that up more, and I think that's what we kind of need.
It seemed like maybe I'm not seeing it out of every hole. Yeah, it's coming out of all the holes. I like the fact that it's real easy to turn on and off the seed, and it's also easy to adjust the amount of how much seed is coming out. Grow, baby, grow. The seed that we bought says it has a quick emergence, like 7 days, so hopefully here in just a week or so we'll see lots of new baby grass. This area could use it.
I think that about does it for the
Yep, that's our Prius V. Her name's Vivian. We bought her a few years back when we wanted a car with a lot higher gas mileage.
This is our one slope in the yard, and I think Vinny's going to be able to handle it pretty well. We have a dead area in the backyard. That's because we parked the trailer back here for a few days, and it was when it was really hot.
If you'll notice, I started going backwards here just as an experiment. I wanted to see what it would look like. Now here on the left side of your screen you can see the results. Notice it's just not rolled down as tightly because the roller didn't run behind the tines. Now I intended to take the duals off before I did this project so that we could have decreased the turning radius. It's easy to do. I just ran out of time before this storm was coming through, so we'll have to show you that in another video. The duals are very effective on hillsides, and they're also really good for flotation. The disadvantage is that they make the unit a lot wider, and they make it such that it won't turn very short. So I'm glad that they're easily removable.
He's going to seed the corn patch. I didn't know that was part of the plan.
Well, the garden had just got a little bit too close to the shed here. Wasn't getting much sun, and it was really just making a tight fit for everything, so I thought maybe we would sacrifice a few feet here.
Well, now you can see what it does on just bare soil that didn't have any sod on it. That'll give us a good way to know if it comes up in 7 days or not. Good plan. It has stopped raining here for a few minutes.
Let's look in the seed box, see if we've spread any seed, or if we're just
I was watching it come out.
Yeah?
Yeah, trying to make sure that it was still...
It's amazing how little we put on of what we put in. Now that was a 50-pound bag.
Yeah, but the guy thought we would go through more than that on our yard to overseed.
How big did you say our yard was?
Well, I told him it was a half acre minus a house and a shed, and told him the square footages of those.
Well, it's probably a little over 4/10 of an acre total.
Okay.
And we've got at least half of that covered with buildings and driveways and...
Oh, that's right. I didn't figure in the driveway.
So we're probably doing okay on the amount. If not, we'll do it again.
Hey, yeah, I was gonna say, this looks fun. You could do it again.
Again, I'm certain this is not the optimal time to do this. If it were just a little bit drier, if it had just stopped raining even for a few hours,
Yeah.
this would be fine. The soil itself is dry enough. It's just right on the surface.
Right.
You know, where it's raining, you know, kind of right now. It's just a little mist.
But this is real life, real world. This was the first opportunity that we've really had to get her done.
Yeah.
We've had other things going on this week.
Yeah, and if you're interested in a piece of equipment like this, you're going to have to work in conditions like this. So it's nice to know that it works. I mean, the only issue we've had is that big wide roller has wanted to get some mud around it where we've been in real loose dirt. We resolved that by raising that a little bit, okay? And just not worry about the mud getting on it. It doesn't seem to get, you know, too thick or anything, and it eventually, you know, kind of comes off, so it's really not even been a problem. Well, I think I'll finish up.
So if you were trying to do a ground that you just tilled or had no sod on it, you would wait till it was drier.
Maybe we'll try that at some point. We're talking about maybe getting rid of our potato patch
Yeah.
next year, so maybe when that gets drier, we'll actually try it out there
Okay.
and see how it works on loose ground, because that is something we like to do, is till up, get it kind of packed down and seed it. I think this thing would work really well for that kind of seeding. So that is a good question, Christy, and we'll try that out later.
How fast are you going?
Well, I haven't been watching, but pretty slow. And one thing I think maybe I would do over if I was to do this again is turn the rate a little bit higher. And if I turn the rate a little bit higher on the seed, then I could adjust my speed in areas that are bare to slow down.
Yeah.
And then I could speed up in areas which are, you know, don't need a whole lot of new seed on them. And that's, hey, I'm just learning. Hey, we were working here today, and David Christie, you can kind of tell his last name. You like that last name, don't you, Christy?
I do, spelled just like I spelled mine.
He saw us working here with Vinny, the Ventrac. He said, that thing looks unique. I'm going to come check it out. What do you think, David?
I think it's really neat. It's like nothing I've never seen before. It's not making a mess out here in the rain and the mud, and seems to be doing a very nice job.
Yeah, you seem to be relaxed today, I guess. Probably because you can't do a lot of work while it's raining like this.
Yeah, no, today you get out, you look at jobs, you do your homework.
So you're an expert in this, and just earlier in this video I was saying, I don't know if we should be out here, but we want to get it done before this tropical storm comes through. Are we doing the right thing, or should we just be...
You're not tracking up the yard to a point where you're making a mess, and the mud and tracks that you're seeing will go away as soon as the rain washes it off. So I don't see any damage being done. If you were rutting it, I would say no, to stay off of it, but there's no ruts or anything. The work you're being done is what the machine's supposed to do. So
okay.
No, I think it's doing a wonderful job.
Now, you think maybe I might not be getting enough seed on?
I would put it on just a little bit heavier.
Okay. Hey, there's a little secret here that I just found out. We chose seed based on what our neighbor down the road recommended. Turns out...
He's the guy that recommended it.
Yeah. So tell us about this seed a little bit that we're using, and is it the right thing to use, first of all, and then what rate things?
Everybody likes Kentucky bluegrass and rye here in Indiana. It grows very well in the spring and the fall. In the heat in the middle of summer, it does not. Tall type turf fescue does a much better job. It's a hybrid. Everybody hears fescue and thinks it's a side ditch grass. It's not. It's more like a playground or football field grass, only just not quite as coarse. It's very soft but very durable. Takes much less water to stay green in the dry summers and drought conditions, and is much more durable for high traffic.
Now, one question I had was, when you say fescue, I think Kentucky 31, the real broad leaf fescue, and I don't see any of that in the neighbor's yard.
No, when you call it fescue, it is fescue, but when you call it turf type fescue, it's more of a turf. It's a softer, thinner. It's not as wide a blade fescue. Okay. And then, like this summer, July when it got dry, into June, 1st of July when it got dry, the people that had the mix of the rye and the Kentucky bluegrass with the tall type fescue, you could see the rye going down, and you could see that the green that was in the lawn was the turf type tall fescue.
Okay.
And the people that I've switched over the years, they're telling me that their water usage has gone way down, just for the fact that they're not having to pump as much to it as the Kentucky Blue and the rye takes.
That's very helpful. I
Yeah.
really have struggled with this. I've always been a bluegrass guy. I like the look of it, but like you say, it's great in the spring, and then in the summer it's gone.
And you'll get it, I mean, like right now it's doing real good because we're getting good fall conditions. Even in this heat, the rains hit us just right, and it's been dropping into the 50s and 60s, so it's still growing real well. But as soon as we hit the dry time here in fall, we'll watch it go dormant. And the tall type turf fescue, I'll cut right up until Thanksgiving.
Okay.
And as someone who cuts grass, I want to cut it for as long as I can.
That makes sense. Hey, you want to give this thing a try?
Sure. Usually they say when you're overseeding with a rye or a Kentucky bluegrass, they'll say 3 or 4 pounds. When I'm using the tall type turf fescue, I'll bump it up to 7 or 8 pounds. Same thing when you're doing a bare seeding, they'll tell you to put down anywhere from 8 to 10 pounds. I'll turn that up again, and I like to use 10 to 12 or even a little bit more in a bare seeding. You just never know what Mother Nature's going to provide for you, and a little extra is better than too little.
Sounds good. Okay, fire it up.
Going down a lot better.
Yeah, it's going down a lot.
It's like the slower I go, the more I can mix it up.
Yeah? Yeah, that's
I'm gonna
true.
speed it up just a little bit and see what happens. It works nice right through the turn. A lot of machines you have to stop and raise up out of the ground before you can turn. This is going right through it. Now, will it do it in reverse?
It does. There's a roller behind the unit, and so it leaves it rougher when you go backwards. Because the
Okay.
roller kind of smacks that back down a little bit.
Because sometimes you need to pull up like real close to sidewalks and back work it versus.
Well, it will still do the job, right? Because it's dropping that seed right on top of the...
It's getting in the ground.
Yeah.
Oh, this is fun. I could do this all day. The way we currently do it with the plug and core and slice seeder is so much more labor intensive. You only want to do it for a week or two a season. I could do this all month.
Well, you never really know what's going to happen on Tractor Time with Tim. We got started with this project this morning. We really didn't know what we were doing, and lo and behold, David walked up. I really appreciate you stopping by, David.
Thank you.
So you got a chance to drive a little bit different rig.
Yes, it's something I've never ran before, but was very easy, and something I could definitely do all day long.
You know, David's never even seen a Tractor Time with Tim video yet, but I think he's a future subscriber.
Oh yes, definitely.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching. Thanks for seeing the debut of Vinny here, Vinny the Ventrac. And we'll see you next time on Tractor Time with Tim.
Trash day.